everybody. Welcome to the Hallmarkies Podcast. And we are getting at our dark and broody natures going on. We're going to be talking about Wuthering Heights. It's going to be so fun. And of course, the latest film to come out from director Emerald Fennell. We'll be talking about that. And I am film critic Rachel Wagner. And right now, I have with me Terry is here, and our friend Natasha might be joining us in the middle of the episode. We're trying. She's in Singapore, so sometimes that can be a bit tricky to schedule. But we're going to try our best because she loved the new movie, and I really like to get her perspective. But yeah, thanks for joining me and taking on Wuthering Heights. And we're going to be ranking 6 different versions, so it's going to be
Boy.
Yeah. So, where would you say that you are at in your devotion, fandom, your love of Wuthering Heights?
Oh, it's low right about now.
I mean, when did you read the novel as a young person?
Yes, it's been a while since I've reread it. I've read it more than once.
Uh-huh.
I appreciate it. I can see why it's a classic and it survives, but I've never been that attached to it like other people have. So it's good, but I'm more of a Jane Eyre
Yeah,
or
me
even
too.
definitely Jane Eyre or the Tenant of Winfield Hall, the other Bronte sister that everybody seems to forget.
Yeah.
Anne
I've
Bronte.
never read that one. I need to.
Yeah, it's been so long since I have, but I did enjoy that one. But just because I appreciate it, but I don't
Yeah.
have. I've known people who are like worship at the altar, and I'm like, okay, whatevs.
What do you
But
think it is that makes people so devoted to it?
ooh, I think it's the tragedy of it all.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it's the misunderstandings, the tragedy, the unfairness. I think it just people love a downer of a romance or a
I
potential
mean, I think
romance.
it's similar to almost like a horror movie, that people feel attached to something like Hereditary, or you know what I mean? Like something that's kind of it's
Oh yeah, yeah, that's a
a,
good.
a
Yeah,
horror movie.
in many
It,
ways it is.
it
If you
is,
think about it.
yeah. But it was interesting because I was chatting with Natasha, and it seemed like what I felt like was the main point of this book is very different. So I'm hopeful that she can come on. Was very different than what she thought was the main point of
Hmm.
the book.
That's the beauty of this book too. There's
Yeah,
so many different interpretations, and they can be all right. It's how we view
yeah.
it. It's a
So
really deep book.
yeah, I mean, I am like you. I would much prefer Jane Eyre
Yeah,
over
yeah.
over
I could
Wuthering
spend all
Heights.
day watching Jane Eyre adaptations.
Yeah, I read that when I was in high school. I think I actually read Jane Eyre before reading Jane Austen. I didn't read Jane Austen until my senior year of high school, and
I
and
think
then
I did
I
as
got
well.
obsessed. I read. We had like a month and a half on because I was going to community college for that senior year, and so we had like a long winter break, and I read Sense and Sensibility, and then Persuasion, and then Pride and Prejudice in that 1 month. And so I got real hooked. But I'm pretty sure I read Jane Eyre before that. I think the 1994 film had come out, and
I
that's
think that's
why.
exactly where I'm at too. I could swear
No,
that I because the first Jane Austen I ever read was Sense and Sensibility, and I
yeah,
just have this memory of rewatching of I'm sorry, reading Jane Eyre before Sense and
yeah.
Sensibility.
Well,
So those
you
movies
have,
all came out at the same time, the Emma Thompson one and
yeah.
the
No, they
Jane
did
Eyre
because
one. Yeah,
you had there was the 95 Persuasion, there was the 95 Pride and Prejudice, there's the
yeah,
95 Sense and
yeah. It's a
Sensibility.
lot. Yeah,
Plus, Clueless came out, I think, in 95. It was 94 and
yeah.
95. So yeah, all there was just Jane Austen, and then that there were 2 Emmas that came out right around that
Oh my
time.
gosh, yeah. And I felt like I was late to the bandwagon. I was like, does
Mhm.
anybody know the beauty of Austin? And everybody rolled their eyes at me like, you're too old to discover Austin. Like, I should have
Yeah.
discovered it younger, but no.
But I do think I read Wuthering Heights in high school, or it was early college years. I can't remember, but it was young. And I didn't really care for it. I've never loved books or movies, but or I just dislike all the characters. Some people really like that. Some people
Oh
like,
yeah.
sort of unlikable characters,
It's
and
hard to
that
like.
makes them feel sort of seen, and they like that. I've never been that person, and so
Yeah.
I was just kind of like, everybody here is horrible.
It is hard. It is hard to like these folks. But I think there is a romanticism that people attach. Like they romanticize these characters,
Yeah.
which I think is totally fine how you interpret something. But I do think that over the years, there's just a romanticism attached to these two specific characters that I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's,
Well, so the way that I look
that's
at
fine.
the story is that the main thing that I think that Emily Bronte was trying to get at is the bitterness caused by unrequited or unrealized, like, celibate love, basically. That
Yeah.
you love each other, but the society around you,
Yep.
whatever it is, your own choices, that all has limited it so that you can't be with each other. So it's unrealized sexual attraction,
Yeah.
and that makes you bitter and angry, and you basically becomes kind of a revenge story,
Totally.
and we talked about this offline, that I've always felt like the epilogue with Kathy and Harriton, I
Hmm.
always felt like that was sort of tagged on at the end. That
Yeah.
it's one thing for when Kathy and Linton fall in love, but then there's the epilogue with Kathy and Harriton, and I always felt like there was maybe a publisher being like, can you end it with like a slightly happy ending?
Or maybe a
Um,
sister, we're like,
somebody. I always felt like
yeah, I
that
can
was
see
so.
that.
It's such
I
a
can see
different
that.
tone than the rest of the story, and I don't really blame most adaptations for leaving that out because it
Yeah,
just doesn't fit that well to me with everything else. And
it's
and
true. The main
so
attraction is Heathcliff and Kathy, so I get
yeah, and
that.
it
Yeah.
just feels like this sort of weak attempt to add a happy ending
Hmm.
to the story
I don't
to
even know
me.
if it's that happy though. I've never viewed it as. I think that was her intention.
Uh-huh.
Somewhat. Maybe she changed it up a smidge. But I think she was probably, my thought was that she always had the intention of doing something like that. Maybe she streamlined it a tad, but I've never viewed it as fully happy. I think it
Hmm.
ends on a good note, but is it happy? I don't know.
Yeah, I
Like
guess
one of
it's
them is going to drop dead right after the story ends. It's just, I
yeah.
feel like this is, the way everything goes.
But I do think that this book, the biggest strength of this book is that I can't think of much else that I've read that more accurately describes that how hate is the flip side of love,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Because
Agree.
they never stop loving each other, but that just makes them hate each other more.
Sure. And
Because
I don't think the movies ever truly capture either that Kathy was happy with Edmund, that's his name, right? Her
Edgar.
husband,
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, they try
Um,
in this
they,
recent one to show that, like, because she
oh,
thought that Heathcliff was dead, and so she
I don't
seemed
think.
like fairly happy with Edgar. But the
Oh,
problem
Edgar.
is
Oh,
that
I
their
always miss
love is so it's not unrequited. It is they met, they have this affair, and
Yeah,
so you don't have this key emotion that is the whole point of the story is
yeah, I
that
know.
they don't hate each other because they're literally getting it on all the time in every inch of that house.
Oh my gosh, whew, Rachel, I went on Valentine's Day to see this all by myself, which I was fine
Uh-huh.
with, but I was
Yeah.
not the only, there were countless women in there with their daughters, with their friends, by
Oh,
themselves.
oh
Just
no.
like
I would
there
not
was
want to
no
be
man
with
in
my
sight.
mom. I
There
tell you
was
that
no,
right now.
yeah, there was no man in sight, which was fine because I think that's what this movie is geared. This new movie,
It
I
just
think, is geared for women to swoon over, or if I can
yeah.
say it, horny girls.
Yeah.
Um,
Which,
yeah, which is
I
fine.
I'm
But I
fine.
question the whole Wuthering Heights aspect of making a
Yeah.
romance movie like that. Like I'm fine with making romances like
Yeah. Because
I hope this makes money so we can get more romances.
yeah, I mean literally the only thing stopping them from
Yeah.
from real from consummating their affection is like some angry looks from Nellie. That's
I know.
it.
Oh,
And
well, I
so
mean, we can get
to
into
me,
this, but
that
Nelly,
takes
oh,
over the whole dynamic of what the story is
yeah.
about these people being repressed, being kept from each other, which causes them to be angry and to
Yeah.
hate each other.
To hate, to
Even
seek, to hurt each other physically,
yeah,
even, and
that
all that,
hate
because they
is the
turn
flip
into
side of
monsters,
love.
you know?
And in
Yeah.
just every way, she was scared of making particularly Heathcliff a bad guy, making him the villain because like I mean
Yes.
he just kind of sits around and mopes. Like he's not particularly angry or
This current,
hurtful.
yeah,
They
agree.
they don't
Mhm.
have they don't have Hindley in the story at all.
Unbelievable. That, I mean, he's the main antagonist to Heathcliff.
They
My theory is that you couldn't make Heathcliff that way because it's Jacob Elordi. He is beautiful. He's handsome. I'll give him that.
just
I mean, I
makes the
like him. He's
story
no, but like
it
you
makes the
can't make him
story
that
more
way because girls
bland.
have right, but you can't make him an awful person because how are girls supposed to swoon over him? How are they supposed to
Yeah.
romanticize his great pain of not being with the woman he loved? It's
But
such a sanitized version of the story,
yeah.
and they
No,
neutered all the
I
characters
agree.
in this
I
new one.
agree because the the whole point of the story is I guess it should make people walk away being like keeping people apart is a terrible idea. Just
True.
let the love is love, right? But
Right.
here they're not kept apart, and they their love is like I felt like their love was sort of painted as this like beautiful inspirational story of
Yeah.
like they persevered through it all and they managed to still love each other. Like that
Yeah.
is just not
That
what this story is
that
about.
is
And
why they made Nellie, like
yeah,
spoilers here, the way that they made her,
oh yeah,
so
for sure.
that Heathcliff and Kathy do not have to take ownership of their choices. It
Yeah.
will all fall on Nellie's
Well,
shoulders.
the other problem is that they they don't want to make since they don't want to make Heathcliff a bad person, they can't have his revenge marry to Isabella
That
be
I
bad. So
is
they
so
try
odd.
to make her be a consensual party in this relationship.
Wasn't her the way they put like why she was so infantile. Ugh, oh my God, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
if not, yes,
I'm sorry, I got tongue twisted there, but you know what I meant.
yes. But the
It's
thing
late, guys.
is
I got
that
tongue.
like
Yeah,
I
they
think
made her
that
so just
we,
how do I put this?
we
I'm
have
trying
become
to just
yeah.
weird in a way, like a little girl desperate
Well,
for something and it's weird.
it was
I
very
was
weird
unnerved by
because they
that.
really wanted to make sure that we knew that she consented to all of this. And the only reason they did that is because they wanted to make Heathcliff still a good guy. So
Exactly.
he,
Heathcliff has to be swoony. You
but,
can't make Heathcliff an abuser. And
but we have a problem because consent can only go so far. Okay. Like we've become a little bit, I think, almost a little obsessed with consent, which normally big
yes.
fan.
Yeah,
But,
right. Absolutely agree. But it's like
but
yeah.
I mean, like just because I give you consent to shoot me in the face doesn't mean you can shoot me in the face. Like it's still,
Some would make
you
that
know,
argument.
like
But
it.
yeah, but she
I
knows
made
no
the argument because
yeah.
like just because I've consented, there's still limits.
There's
There's
still
still,
right.
especially when you're talking with somebody that is very inexperienced, way
Yes.
is younger than Heathcliff,
Younger than everybody. Right.
and so they're not in a position to give adequate consent. Like she might as well, especially the way she's portrayed, be
Yeah.
like mentally handicapped. The way that they
It's exactly what I thought. Because in a way, her with the dolls and stuff, I was like, what is
yeah.
going Clearly, Emerald
Like it
Fennell
was
hated that character in the books.
yeah.
Just by the way she wrote her in this movie. But
Yeah.
there were young girls in the theater that laughed
Well, no,
at
I think
everything
she
involved with
was
Heathcliff and
absolutely made
Isabella.
to
And
be a joke.
I was angered and
Yeah.
I was upset by it because I was like, I don't see these young girls probably have never read Wuthering Heights. They just
Mhm.
didn't know anything. I'm assuming that. But I was
Yeah.
like, this is not okay. And I don't know if
Yeah.
it's because I know the book and I know what happened, but I don't think I would
Yeah.
find it okay regardless because this is a young girl who is just something has awakened in her and she thinks this is okay because she's never known anyone else.
Right.
She's sort of a,
Yeah.
it's
And
like
in the
Stockholm
book,
syndrome in a way.
she is hopeful for
Yeah.
like the honeymoon,
A
basically.
minute. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Well, I
and
mean,
actually, I think that Heathcliff is hopeful for the honeymoon as well. And then he's like, this is just not good. And then he's done.
no. And then it's
He's
just, it
done with her.
turns.
But
Yeah.
he's like, I think he even says, I tried to be with you and I
For a
just,
hot minute. And then he's
yeah,
just
exactly.
a brutal
But
maniac, you know?
but I just feel like with this new movie that their attempt to just turn it into a bodice ripper,
Exactly. Yep.
it just made it bland. It took away what the whole point of the book
Do
is.
you think, for I view this new one as a romanticized
Yeah.
fan
Yeah, I mean,
fictiony
that's
of
why
the
they
story, but with a woman who either has never read the book and just lied about it because she's watched other movie adaptations, or I'll believe her, but with a not understanding of the text, or do you think it's
yeah.
just the way she wanted it?
Well,
I'm
she said even that it was that what she wanted it to be. Like she said that.
mm,
And that's why she and not only did they put the title in quotation marks, but they actually sent out an email to press
that you had to say
demanding
it. Yeah.
that
Mhm.
in
Oh
any
wow.
mention that we did, like when we put out this episode, we'll have to put it in quotation marks. They
Wow.
asked us to do that. So it's not like it was just some little thing. This was like a very important thing
Oh,
to
who's she
them.
gonna get in trouble about that? Some reviews have been savage though
Yeah.
about
But
this,
they, I mean,
but
they sent out a whole email just about it. So it's not like it was just some no big deal. It was like very
hmm,
important to them.
it's
And
odd.
it's
I just
it's really,
I
really
do think, I
funny.
wonder if she's like read it more than once. Because I think if you're 14, 15, or even younger, a little bit older, this is a
Yeah.
book that you should read at least twice. Once when you're young, and then once many years after you've lived a
Uh,
life. Like
yeah.
I'm thinking about rereading
I
it
can
now
see you. I
because
read it. I reread it for the to
eh,
get ready for
oh
this.
yeah,
I
you did.
reread
Okay.
it. Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I did.
I'm
It's
thinking
a
of
lot more. I mean, there's really quite a bit of the book is about all these side characters.
yes, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not there's not that much actually time spent with Heathcliff and Catherine. There's a
I'm
lot of time spent
because
with
I think I could
Hindley
like
and Isabella and Nellie and Edgar and Joseph and all these other characters.
see, I'm officially in my late 40s now, and I think I do need to reread it just to get a different perspective
Yeah.
because I am older, and who knows, I might be like, yeah, I see it in a total new light. But yeah, I don't know. It's
That's
weird. It's just weird to make this type of story into what she did. I do appreciate though. I'll give her kudos for trying to make it different because there are so many versions of this movie,
well, see,
countless.
that's the
In
funny
English
thing.
and in other languages, made the world all over has made iterations of this story.
Ho, ho, ho! We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies Patreon.
Do you love Hallmarkies Podcast, especially at Christmas?
Do you enjoy the holiday previews, recaps, interviews, and bonus episodes?
If the answer is yes, please consider supporting the Hallmarkies Patreon. We need your help to do what we do both during the Christmas season and all year round.
But not only do you help a podcast led by strong, independent women by becoming a Patreon, you get to become a part of the Hallmarkies family.
Starting at only $2 a month as a patron, you will have access to our Facebook Patreon group where we talk about the movies, shows, and more all year.
We also have many monthly patron watch-alongs with guests like Lacey Chabert, Natalie Hall, Paul Campbell, Mary Lou Henner, and more, giving their behind-the-scenes details of their films.
As a patron, you also have the chance to provide input into the podcast and even join us at different tiers.
So this Christmas season, spread some cheer to the Hallmarkies Patreon and become a member today. You won't regret it.
Go to patreon.com/Hallmarkies to learn more.
That's patreon.com/Hallmarkies.
And we are only going to focus, you and I are going to rank 6 of the versions.
Yes, we don't have time or patience to watch like 100.
There's been like 15. It's
and that's
really
English alone. Yeah.
It's so funny to me how certain stories get remade over and over and over and over again. Like, I mean, we're getting another Sense Unspilled, we're getting another Pride and Prejudice, but why no North and South? Only one, only or 2 if you count that British one in the 80s, but almost none. No feature films, no North and South, almost no Northanger Abbey.
Almost none. I actually think this
weird.
Is like, I feel like they do a Jane Austen, like certain Jane Austens, they do it like every 10, 12 years, either on television or in film, and a new generation can have a chance to discover
it's just funny to me the
but
way that like
I don't
like every 5 years
North
you're going to get a new Jane Eyre. Like, why don't we have like 5-6 different feature films in North and South?
We're due for a new Jane Eyre. Yeah, I don't know.
What I'm saying?
Do you think it's because people compare it at times to Pride and Prejudice?
Probably.
I see the comparisons, but I think that they're vastly different in tone.
Like other really solid books. Like, I know there's been a couple versions of like Girl of the Limberlost, or there's been a couple versions of Pollyanna over the years, but not that many. And I don't know. It's just interesting to me, the ones that get done a lot, and when was the last time they made never?
Yeah, just speaking of like classic literature and stuff. When was the last time they made Middlemarch? They did that.
They barely made any George Eliot.
No, I think the last time, I own that.
Very few. There's been a couple.
I do own this Middlemarch. It's in the it was made in the 90s. I have it on DVD somewhere of Middlemarch. I think that's the last time.
It's not very good.
Anything. I don't.
Did.
Yeah, it's been. I own so much stuff, Rachel. I forget.
I guess Middlemarch, it maybe makes sense because it's so long.
Yeah, but, I would say that would be like a miniseries, but like try dig it or Daniel Deronda, like last time they made that was the early 99 or 2000.
Yeah, it's just funny. Like, we've gotten so many great expectations, but how many Little Dorots have we gotten? A couple,
I know.
But not
the last Little
many.
Dorot we got, I loved.
Yeah, so. I do too. I love that one.
Yeah,
but anyway, that's an interesting thing.
It's weird
why certain stories get adapted a lot.
I do have a question to ask you about a Wuthering Heights theory. Book-wise, there is a theory that they think, unbeknownst to them, that Kathy and Heathcliff are actually brother and sister. Do you buy that theory, or that
that he was like a ward, that he's like a
and that it's like, well, he's not going to admit it, but yeah, they're siblings. I don't think that was the intention at all.
It wouldn't be shocking if you think about the ending, because she basically ends up with 2 of her cousins.
But marrying cousins back then was like the norm.
I know, but that's what I'm saying.
It still is the norm in many places today. Rachel, you don't know how many soaps I watch that have kissing cousins in it. I'm just telling you, don't judge me.
I don't think it would even for a half sibling, I don't think it would have been as shocking as it would be now.
No, and the whole thing is that they don't know. These are just people like, they probably were half siblings. And I was like, I don't think that was the intention, but I could see how people could read the story that way.
Because the dad is actually, way more kindly than portrayed in this new movie.
Yeah, well, they did that because they got rid of the brother, so they had to make him the drunken brute.
Yeah, could you believe that scene with all the bottles? It's like,
this movie is so highly stylized. Yeah. And again, I appreciate them trying to make it look different, but it felt.
They show so he died of alcoholism, the dad, in this version. And instead of just showing him dying of alcoholism, they literally have like bottles piled up to the sky. It's to the roof.
I laughed when I saw that. I'm not supposed to laugh at that moment. That's supposed to be a sad moment. But I was what?
I am dying to hear what you thought of the costumes, because you love costumes. Okay. You're big.
I do. Person. I love. Okay, you have to shrug a shoulder at costuming, because they're never going to be 100% authentic to the era. But, if you try hard enough and you make it look pretty, it's fine.
Yeah.
But when I saw the pictures, mostly the pictures of coming out and talking about, and I was like, what is it? She's wearing a plastic dress? Like,
yeah. She has 2 plastic dresses.
Yeah, she does. But you barely notice that in the movie. They don't focus much on it. my eyes twitched. I was like,
Yeah.
oh. I said, this isn't going to this will definitely get an Oscar for costume design. It's Jacqueline Duran. She's won before. She's been nominated a bunch of times. Last time she won,
Yeah.
I think, was Not Atonement, Anna Karenina. And I was like, oh, she's going to probably. And my eyes were twitching. But when I was watching the movie, I didn't hate them because the movie felt, because it was so stylized, to me, it was all fake. Like, I thought the sets all looked like sets. It kind of reminded me of when we watch a movie from the 30s or early 40s when they made these grand epic sets, especially in period design. You know, they had to make that. That was all shot in California. But, you know, back then all that stuff looked real. But today you could tell it's kind of sets. To me, it felt like sort of an homage to the classic film, but it just didn't feel, the world itself didn't feel real.
So
Unless we
she
were outside.
actually won for Little Women.
Oh, that's the remake. That's right. Yeah.
For 2020.
Yeah. But I think she won for Anna Karenina, right? Or is that someone else?
And she won for Beauty and the Beast. Ooh.
Right.
Oh wait, no, sorry, that's a different one.
Yeah.
That's not Academy Award. I was like, oh, that was terrible. I hated that. Let's see, what else did she win for?
Am I mistaken?
She did the costumes for Barbie, but she didn't win for that. So she won for Anna Karenina. You're correct.
Yeah. Okay. I was like, I think I had the same. All right, I forgot.
She was nominated for Beauty and the Beast. Those costumes were terrible.
But I bet you she was nominated for the end. Those costumes at the end when everybody's dressed up.
Oh yeah, but I hated Belle's dress. I did not like that at all. But yeah, she won for Little Women most recently.
I completely forgot about that. Yeah,
but she's very talented.
I was not happy with that
I didn't mind I enjoyed the costumes because I felt like it was at least every scene, and I enjoyed the production design. Because it made every scene interesting. Like it was something different because the characters weren't interesting to me. I could at least be like, oh, that was a weird choice.
I know. I will say, like, I do really appreciate that of the new film, that at least they took a chance in the way that it looked.
Yeah.
And, you know, it does feel like you're, in a way, like it does feel like you're almost reading a book.
But every room, the production designer made very weird choices, which I had fun with. Like
I know how you feel about that fireplace.
I know. I really liked the mantle made out of hands.
I did, but like when I saw that, I was like garish, and I was like, that looks like it was made out of paper mache. But I appreciate that effort. I do, because it does make it stand out and look, you know, from all the other, you know, we've watched a whole bunch leading up to this, and they all kind of look the same. So I'll give it props for that.
No, it's true. Who's the production designer? They did a good job.
Yeah, I wonder if in the end it'll get like a production design like Oscar. Like I don't know, because it's coming out so early.
Susie Davies is her name.
This movie might get forgotten. It's getting
she did a great job with it.
I'll give it that.
Yeah.
You can tell he said those were sets, like especially the house with the steps right behind.
The
steps leading up to the moors. How convenient. You could tell that was all a step. It kind of like almost like a set on a play, like on a stage set almost, kind of, it felt like too.
You'll be shocked where I have this one ranked though, given that I've hardly had anything positive to say about it. Watching these 6 movies made me realize that there have not been very many good Wuthering Heights movies.
No.
It's tough. And I think it's just because people involved are scared of unlikable characters. Which is the very thing that makes the book bold. It's what people like about it. It's scary in cinema. You can't be afraid to
have unlikable characters. But we are in an era, I think we're starting to have some unlikable characters. But before, like The Sopranos, all those guys were unlikable characters. I feel like
television, like something like Succession or something like that, like Breaking Bad, like really unlikable. Mad Men, even, they were pretty unlikable. I think it's a thing in television because you can like spend more time and you can kind of dive into the unlikableness.
Everybody loves
like a movie. You have 2 hours just to hate people. Like it's harder, I think.
If you're a soap fan, like you love the villains. You love to hate them.
Yeah.
In television,
what's this? There's the only things I can think of are like there's movies with like grumpy old people, like a Gran Torino or something like that.
Oh, there's the era too. Like every old person is mad at something. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. But usually they come around. They learn.
I was like, I had old parents for a very long time, Rachel. And I'm like, they weren't that grumpy, you know? But, you know.
Yeah. Well,
but we are in an era where, like, even the villains have to have tragic backstories to explain why they're really anti-heroes or Disney's famous for that. I love Once Upon a Time, but every villain in that show had a tragic backstory to explain why they were bad for the moment. The only one who didn't have that was Cruella de Vil. And I was
we can blame Wicked for that. That's the reason why because
Yes.
Wicked was so successful that for the next 20 years, all we've gotten is villain redemption, villain other side of the story. You know, it's like, to me, the ultimate was when they were like, we're going to tell Cruella de Vil's story. I mean, the woman who wanted to murder 101 puppies for wardrobe.
For a cult and stuff.
You're gonna, I mean, and I didn't even hate that movie, but
she had a mean boss, Rachel. That's what happens when you have a mean boss.
Yeah, that mean boss. Just the fact that they even tried to make that movie was just absolutely like, wow, they it's a lost cause.
I do think Disney is the number one offender in that case.
Yeah, there's no villains anymore. There's no
Maleficent too. You know.
Yeah, there's no romance anymore at Disney. I saw there was this Hallmark musical that they did here in Utah, which I did recommend. But they had this whole segment that was kind of satirizing Disney, and I'm going to put in my review, I'm like, that is so outdated because they have not had any romance at Disney since Tangled.
Yes.
None.
But I think romance in general.
I mean, I guess Kristoff and Anna, but that's pretty. That's a secondary couple.
Yeah. But there's a lack of romance in everything. I was talking to my sister the other day, and we were discussing about, okay, we don't need everything to be so graphic and stuff, but like when you watch a classic movie or something, there's this steaminess and sexiness that you can portray from a couple without being graphic, you know?
Yeah, well,
and
it's
that
true.
seriously lacks in so many movies today. Like we don't see that.
Well, it's true. I mean, even you can think of something like A Breakfast at Tiffany's, that there's a lot of sexuality in that movie, but it's all under the surface.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, and that's another example of a movie with unlikable characters.
Exactly.
You
know, we don't have much of that anymore. It's like we don't see that, and even when we're watching something like that, we gotta wait till the last minute of the movie to get a kiss and when I say, oh, everything is sexless today, I don't mean it in graphic terms, but just
the yearning.
Sexiness,
and they did a pretty good job, but I think it would have been even more so if they had allowed the characters. Like Kathy really does nothing unlikable in this. Like her hands are kept pretty clean from any real like spite or wrongdoing, or like she's kept pretty innocent, I think, in this version, the new version.
Yeah, I mean, she's got a little of an attitude. I thought
much,
but not much. But like, I don't know.
I just think it would have been even more charged. It would have been even more because you've got that flip side of love is hate, and so if they'd allowed them to go there, then instead of it just being, oh, this is pretty sexy time, it would have been like pretty sexy angry time,
right? Because like I remember watching the trailers, and I was like, these are the horniest trailers I've seen in a long time. I didn't find the film itself to be that horny or even that sexy when it was trying to be, to me anyways. Maybe somebody else can find it like, I mean,
there's almost no actual nudity, which is interesting.
I was surprised that there was no, I'm just going to say, I was expecting to see some boobs. I don't know whose boobs I was going to see, but I thought that, and I was surprised. I mean, I don't think the movie needed nudity, but I was expecting it. I was expecting it to be steamier.
Yeah, I get it. Well, let's talk about some of these other ones real quick. So where did you have this new one in our 6? Where did you have it ranked?
5. I really hated this movie. I put it at 5. I was really thinking about it. And I said, I think 5 is where it fits well. Because there were aspects of the other films that I liked a little bit more, even though if they might not have been as entertaining as or out there or trying to be different.
I have it at 4 because the other so there are 2 that I just felt like were less interesting.
Yeah,
that at least this made, like, we could have this fairly long discussion about, okay, they made these wacko choices, and so,
Questionable.
you know.
I feel like if we talk to her, we just get word salad at the end explaining it, and I'm like,
That's a good
okay,
way to
lady.
describe it. You hear her talking, and it just gets. I just feel
Depressed.
embarrassed for her.
I was so worried. The way
Stop.
everybody was talking about this movie in the press leading up to it, I was like, what's going on here? How, you know?
I was worried that it was going to end up being Scarlet Letter Demi Moore.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And it's not that bad. Like, that movie gives a happy ending to the Scarlet Letter and
Crazy.
tries to make it all sexy time when it's literally set in Puritan.
Yeah. My sister walked out of that. She had to write a whole paper of it in school because they
I
read
mean,
the
yes,
story.
they do. Obviously, there's a child. There is some sexy time going on, but like,
Yeah.
they try to
My
make it
sister's
into
like,
a bodice
what's
ripper.
Yeah,
And
she's
it's
like,
just
what's
like,
going on here?
yeah. But the one that I have actually last is the next most recent. I have the 2011 version by Andrea Arnold. I think you could almost call this a prequel. This is barely a Wuthering Heights. It spends so much time
Oh,
with
this is
them
my number
as
6
kids.
too. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Oh.
It spends so much time. It's over an hour before, I think well over an hour before adult Kathy is introduced. And like the sort of the quote unquote sexiest scene in the movie is the children in the dirt, in the mud, and getting all dirty together. It was very
And I was
weird.
like, where's this going?
He kept going back to that. They went back to it like at least a couple times.
I rewatched this today.
This is a bad movie.
And I
bad.
do not like it. I remember
How weird.
I had to rewatch it because I didn't have much of a memory, but it is so it's so slow, Rachel. Sorry.
And they are really, those two kids are together for a huge chunk of this movie.
It is so it's just so uninteresting.
Also,
it's so mundane too, Rachel.
Yeah.
It's like, this is what would happen in real life. They're getting off a horse. They're riding. They're fixing a wall.
Yeah.
They're doing
just
chores.
like, what,
I don't want to watch real life.
What do you have to really tell with kids? I mean, like,
Yeah,
you
they
have
only
the
aged them up after
Hindley and Heathcliff, but I just couldn't believe how long it took for them to get Kathy
And they
as
didn't
an
recast
adult.
they didn't recast Hindley. He was the same. I think he was the same actor throughout. I might have dozed off at that point because, oh my gosh, Rachel, I knew I watched this before, but I had no memoy. I'm just sitting there going, and I watched this on Tubi. So when the commercials came on, I was like, this movie is never going to end.
Yeah, me too. And it's also really poorly made. I don't know
like
what
this
was happening in
director
in the sound department, but like, it was hard to hear what anybody was saying. The wind, I'm like, did they not do ADR on a single line of this
Well, they didn't
movie?
have much to say.
But I just it didn't, not as much how they said, but just how much wind noise and how much ambient noise there was. Like, it was bad.
It was bad, and I do like this director because I love Fish Tank. And
does that one also have bad sound design?
No, not that in my memory. That's the one with Michael Fassbender and a girl and her mom, like coming of age story.
Like, I feel like it was an artistic choice.
It is, because that movie's kind of
all of that noise, but it was very distracting. It was hard to get engaged in the story.
She did the second season of Big Little Lies. Oh no.
Oh yeah, that wasn't good either.
Oh no, they should have never done a second season to that.
Yeah, I agreed. That's true.
That might not be her fault. It was taken over from her. But yeah, but like, I've seen her previous work and I like it, and I was just, this is just not appealing to me. That there are people who love this iteration of it.
Yeah.
And here's the thing.
Really, the only thing I would give it is that they accurately cast Heathcliff as a person of color.
Well, yes, he is
he's described in the book as dark-skinned.
He is, but he's not. Yeah, I mean, but they had, for this iteration, they had him as a black man, and the racism towards being black So
it's the only one though where there's even
it's
an
the only
attempt to
one.
kind
Yeah.
of.
Well, I mean, this is a debate too, because when this book was written, people are debating what exactly did it mean by dark and gypsy, because I probably was referring to it back then when you called people that, but it's like, you have to dig through clues for the contents and stuff, because even if you were Italian, you were,
Yeah.
othered in a sense. But yeah, but I feel like that was also wasted in this movie. Like a couple
Mhm.
of, basically, he gets a couple of slurs thrown out at him a couple of times, but then there's nothing more about that. We
Yeah,
don't
I mean, I
see the
agree.
struggle of him gaining his money or how he did. He doesn't even explain it. And I feel like that is
Because he's a
also,
kid for most of the movie.
yeah, I feel like that's kind of a waste. Like they
Yeah.
wasted that sort of part of the story about
Yeah.
how they do uh, treat him poorly because whatever ethnicity that he
Yeah.
is. So
At least they tried to
yeah,
do that, but
but it's a slog. It's a slog. I'm not
it
going to say
is.
slow. I'm
It
not going to say
is.
slow, but
It's
it's a
bad.
slog. I was like, oh, I can't use the word slow, but this movie is slow.
Yeah, that's a bit of an inside joke. We all didn't know.
Yeah,
Is
I know.
there's some critics friends that like to use that word a lot.
Yeah, I was like, what do I use beside that? But yeah, this one was, oh, Rachel, it would never end. And Tubi
So,
loved to play them like more commercials than usual for this. And I
yeah.
was like, it's never gonna end.
So the next one, as far as time chronology release date, is the Tom Hardy one, and this was on BBC, PBS, all of
You
that.
had that as your 5?
So as far as
Oh.
chronology
Oh
release
no, you're
date.
going there. Okay.
So then let's see here. So I have it at 3, this one.
Okay. I have it at 1.
Oh, okay.
I really enjoyed this one, and I think Tom Hardy's a good Heathcliff.
I think he's pretty good. I think he feels a little modern to me.
The whole entire production is more modern than not. There's a lot of modern touches in the language and stuff. But I do think like that simmering rage he has.
And they're not afraid to make him unlikable.
No, because he is
so
unlikable in that.
So I can see why you have it at first.
Yeah,
I did feel like the second episode was pretty rushed. They were just like, okay, we're packing it in.
Yeah, let's hurry up. Let's make him haunt and stuff.
Like, since they're doing a miniseries, why not have 3-4 episodes? Like,
I'm not sure if this was actually a miniseries or just a miniseries when it gave on PBS, because it gave a Masterpiece. And I remember watching it, and it was 2 parts, and they were an hour each. So they might have just split it into like a 2-parter. But I put this in number 1 because I thought he was the best Heathcliff out of the bunch of the films that we watched today. I just thought, like, I believe when he's mad and he's super angry. And it's amazing because that's how he met his wife. She played Kathy in this, and they've been happily married since.
I thought that overall it was a pretty good version of this story. I had, let's see, what did I say here? The second episode feels rushed. Hardy's performance feels modern, but it's okay.
Yeah. No, I get it. I think that, yeah, I felt like because I liked him so much as this one, I was like, I want to put this one at number 1. And yeah. This one I did not rewatch recently, but I've watched it not that long ago.
And I think this one it embraces at least a little bit some of those horror feels, those darker feels.
I also think I like it a bit more because in trying to be different, we really focus on the next generation. It's more they are being told that story, and we see Heathcliff and Kathy in flashbacks, essentially. And I was like, this is a nice approach in storytelling, to make it different from the other versions.
Yeah. So, yeah, I ended up at 3 in my ranking. Okay. So then next up, we had the 1998 television version. This was the only one that I had never seen before. So this was a new watch. It stars Robert Cavanaugh and Orla Brady. And the only person I knew from this cast was Matthew McFadden.
Yeah,
who shows
very
up.
young. Yeah,
He shows up as Harriton
yeah.
in the second one.
Oh man, just
I actually really liked this one.
I like this one a lot too.
I mean, I have it at number 1.
I put it at number 2.
Because the thing is that like this is the book. This
is the most
completely accurate. It includes everything. I mean, their chemistry isn't amazing, so I think that would be the only downside. But the emphasis is not on the romance on this; it's on the toxicity of what happens with. It's on the unrequited love, not on the
right.
I do think that they maybe brown face him a little bit, which is some of this makeup looked a little bad. Which
Rachel, they looked like teenage shows when we were young, like 40-year-old teenagers.
Yeah, and it looked like he'd gone to like the tanner, the self tanner. I don't know. It looked just a little weird, but he also kind of looks a little bit like Robert Downey Jr. to me.
Oh, when he was young like that, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I've seen some other stuff that he's done. He kind of always looks the same, except his hair is wilder. He's got different hair now. But
I mean, I guess after seeing all of these wackadoodle versions, it was refreshing to see something that was like, that's the book.
Yeah, I was surprised. And then I read that this is the most faithful adaptation, I think.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, interesting, because I had never seen this before. And it kept my interest,
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, all right,
I
mean, this is how I started my Wuthering Heights, rewatch. So I started off on a good note before I went sour.
Me too.
Oh, it's like,
yeah.
I think like it's a good cast and such a young Matthew McFadden. I always laugh because people discovered Matthew McFadden either with the Pride and Prejudice movie or Succession. And I was like, I knew Matthew McFadden back when he was doing like costume dramas.
Well, he's also in that Little Dora that's so good.
Yes. Oh my God, he's so good.
He's so good.
That's after Pride and Prejudice. He's also in oh my God. I can't remember now the Anthony Trollope adaptation.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I can't remember. Now the name escapes me. I'm so bad with names, but he was so good in that too.
He's
done so much. I miss him in it.
That's the thing is, like, I'm actually not a stickler when it comes to adaptations. I mean, I famously, I really enjoyed Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. Like, it doesn't.
Oh yeah, that's
but I want you to keep to the spirit of it, the text and the story, or just call it something else. And that's why I really, really disliked the Dakota Fanning. I'm not Dakota Fanning. Dakota Johnson. Persuasion.
Rachel, that movie doesn't exist. I don't know what you're talking about. That movie does not exist. I live in fear though the day that because we're due for a new Jane Eyre. And I live in fear.
Oh no!
Please, Emerald Fennell, do not touch that.
That same team is making a new Pride and Prejudice.
No, it's a different team. It's not the I looked it up. It's a different team.
I thought it was the same.
No, wait, for the Pride and Prejudice or the
for the Pride and Prejudice.
I'm sorry. I was confusing it with the Sense and Sensibility movie.
No,
which I'm actually very excited to see. Yeah, I'm actually excited.
But I'm not a traditionalist. But
I'm worried about that Pride and Prejudice, though. I'm so worried.
Like, I've really enjoyed lots of crazy different versions of Christmas Carol over the years, or Sherlock Holmes, or like you can do really fun, cool, interesting stuff. But I like it to be recognizable as that entity,
right?
Whether it's modern or historical or whatever.
Sure,
it might be.
Agree. But especially when you have 100 different versions.
Yeah.
Hey, this is David from the Piecing It Together podcast, a podcast about movies and the movies that inspire them. For over 4 years, each week, a guest and I take a look at a new movie through the lens of what other movies we think were either an influence or connect in some other way. It's a fun, unique way to discuss films that leads to a great list of other movies to check out that either explore the same themes and ideas or maybe utilize similar filmmaking techniques. Including special episodes in our side series that twist the format, we've done over 200 episodes, so there's bound to be one on a film you've been thinking about and want to dig deeper into. So check us out on all the major podcasting apps and at piecingpod.com.
Anyway, so then we had 1992. Where did you have this one?
I had this at 2.
Okay, yeah. So then we have the 1992 version.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually thinking, I might like this one better than I ended up liking it.
Yeah.
I was disappointed in it. I ended up with 5.
I put it at 3.
And
And
so
I think I struggled with this one too because I rewatched this one again today because I remembered very little of it. I love Juliette Binoche, but I think she's miscast as Kathy and Kathy 2.0.
yeah.
But I do like
Well,
Ray
and I think
Fiennes,
Ray
but
Fiennes,
he's
like,
so. I feel like he's
they have
held
no
back in his
chemistry, the
performance.
two
They
of
have
them.
absolutely no chemistry. I think Ray Fiennes is good, but I think he's very reserved as Heathcliff in that one. But I put it at
Yeah.
number 3
He does
because
seem kind of bored with the whole thing.
he does. He's like, I need a new kitchen, guys. I had to catch this back.
This
Here I am.
movie tries so hard to keep them both nice.
Right.
Like, so hard. And I thought it was a very strange choice to have Juliet playing both Catherines. Very
And
strange.
I put this one at 3 too because I just thought, well, at least it tries to flow with the book.
I mean, it says in the book that both Hareton and Kathy have Kathy's eyes.
Yeah. Well.
And so looking somewhat similar makes sense, but not to that degree. I mean, it was bizarre. It was very strange.
It's bizarre.
And this thing was boring because they just made no strong character choices. Like, they didn't want to make either of them that bad. They didn't want to make either of them.
I'd agree on it.
I
I do
know.
love Janet McTeer though. I love
Yeah,
Janet
I love
McTeer.
her. Have you seen The Menu?
No, I have not seen that yet.
Oh, it's so good.
I've heard good things. I'm going to get to it. It's on my big, long pile list of things to watch.
I love it. It's so good. Yeah, she's in it, and she plays a critic.
I too love her. I thought she
plays a critic and a food critic. And honestly, if the world worked according to Rachel, I would have given her Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress. She was so good in that. But anyway, she's great. Whenever I've seen her in anything, she's always really good. But this is a slog. That's why I have it at 5.
I can see it. You know what? After.
Like, at least the new one is bad in more interesting ways. Like, we could not have that long a conversation about this one like we did with the new one.
No, but I was so appreciative that it was shorter than this new Wuthering Heights or the 2011 version. I was like, I blinked and it was over, and I was like, bless,
Yeah, but that's fair.
This was hard to kind of. I knew my 1 and 2, and I was like, the others, I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. Then we have the 1939 version. And I actually did a whole episode with the Blind Spot series because my co-host hadn't seen it. And so we were kind of preparing for this. This was coming up. And so we did a whole episode in September on this version. So I rewatched it fairly recently, Deep Dive. And I'll put a link down if people want to listen to that episode. But I think the strengths of this movie are cinematography, the music, the score.
Yeah.
If it hadn't come out in, most people agree, the greatest year in the history of cinema.
Oh my God, 1939. What a year,
Yeah, it would have won more than one Oscar for cinematography, but it was up against Gone with the Wind. It was up against Wizard of Oz. It was up against Stagecoach. It was up against some of the greatest movies ever made. Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. But I think the other strength of this movie is that these actors actually hated each other.
They had a strong dislike, Rachel, for each other.
Yes, they didn't like each other, and I think that he wanted the part to go to Vivien Leigh, his wife.
He did.
Yeah.
They weren't married at that time, I don't believe.
And so he was.
I think this might have been done before Gone with the Wind, and I'm not sure they were.
Started doing film work. Like, I don't know if this was his first or it was new. And there's this whole thing
Pride and Prejudice was his first. I think.
Okay, yeah. There's this whole thing about him getting upset with her spitting on him.
Yes, yes. Yeah, that is
Yeah.
true. There's
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I think this was filmed before Gone with the Wind started. And they had gotten married shortly before the
Uh-huh.
Gone with the Wind. So I'm not sure if he was married quite yet to Vivian Leigh or they were still engaged. But yes, he did want her to be it. But the studio pushing um
The
was
Merle
pushing
Oberman.
Meryl or Oral, and and that's who they cast. And a
But
lot
I
of
think
people
it
were like,
works for this story
it
to have
does.
these two actors
Yeah,
who
and the
don't
thing
like
is
each
that people
other.
were like, she's not that good of an actress, and she really wanted this to prove everyone wrong that she could do it. And she was so disappointed because she was the only one who didn't get an Oscar nomination when this came out, and she was going through a tough time during this. But yeah, they did not like each other. And he was like, my wife would have done a better job. And she's like, she's going through her own issues too. And they invented pardon me, a
Uh-huh.
lighting technique for her
Oh, okay.
to mask um that she wasn't fully white, that she was of mixed race because
Oh, interesting. I
yes, her
didn't realize
mother
that.
her father was British, her mother was Indian.
That's right. I think I now
And
would remember
yeah,
that.
and she passed as white, and that's why she changed her name.
Uh-huh.
If anybody's ever watched that miniseries in the 80s, and it was based on a book that was written by her nephew from her first marriage called Queenie, about a star who passes off as white and she's half Indian stuff, that's all based on her because her nickname was Queenie. She bleached her skin and she had gotten into a car accident before that, so she had to have plastic surgery. But they created this
Oh.
sort of soft tone light for the black and white where people would be like, oh, she's, unique in a sense. And people would
Huh.
like, she looks maybe not fully white, but ambiguously, she has that
Oh.
ambiguous look. And because at that point, the only person who was allowed to be known as that was Boris Karloff, but like a woman,
Uh-huh.
outside of him, it was like very, a lot of, I also don't think there was a whole, I read a biography about her. It was amazing. And there was a whole bunch of political things and that people getting deported because of that in the States at that time. But it's fascinating what she had to
Yeah.
go through all that. And there is a little racism in that movie towards her, but she was like, what are you talking about? I'm from Tasmania. So the day she
Mhm.
died, Rachel, the truth about her only came out after she was dead. She refused to
Oh,
acknowledge it. Yeah, till her grave.
wow.
She
That's
refused
really
to.
interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
different
but I
times
I just
though.
think it helps with this story. It
Yeah,
helps.
I have this one at my 4.
Oh, okay.
Um,
So pretty low.
yeah, I do, and it's funny because I like this movie more than you do.
I have it at 2.
Yeah, and I
Oh, you mean your score on Letterboxd?
no, and I put in my ranking
Oh
as
yeah, you did
4.
give it 4.
Yeah,
I gave it 3.
yeah.
So I
Um,
have it at no, I have it at 2.
yeah, I was surprised it ended up going there. It's just
You have it at 4.
yeah, I love it because it's a classic. I love that it goes 2, but
I mean, they definitely try to lean into the romance side, and then you get this
yeah,
ending
obviously,
that this
yeah.
studio insisted
I
upon. Literally, they didn't even they had to have a separate crew. William Wyler didn't even film the ending, but I
no.
don't mind the ending. I think it gives like
He
a
was very angry.
little,
They took that away from him.
yeah. I
But
mean, I don't mind the ending though. I think it was just like a teeny bit of hope, that I
yeah, because
like
they're
as a
ghosts and
human.
they're reunited. I put it at 4 because I was like, yeah, they have no chemistry.
But I
I
kind
don't.
of like it's a rare example of the because this movie is about people who hate each other.
Yeah.
The fact
No,
that
it's true.
they
It
hated
did
each
work
other,
in
I
that
think
part.
actually worked.
But I think I put it on my 4 because out of all the films that we're ranking in here, aside from the new movie, I thought she was
You
the
would rather
lesser of
watch the Ray Fiennes
Kathy's.
one than watch this again?
No, I would watch this again than Ray Fiennes, which is
Yeah,
odd.
so you got to
Which is
bump
odd
it.
the way I placed it, but I thought she was like, it is odd the way I placed these. I listen, it was tough today. But I feel like
Yeah,
I don't like her as Kathy. I think that she's miscast as Kathy.
I can see that. I
No,
can see that.
I have less rose-colored glasses with that movie on, especially because I read that book and I was like, what a mess.
That's interesting. I mean,
but
you know what's interesting? We didn't really talk about the fact that how in love with Gone with the Wind the new version is. And what's
oh
I
yeah,
kind of wondered, like, why didn't she just make Gone with the Wind?
please
Like,
don't.
is this just too
Can we
politically
not touch
charged?
that?
But like, I mean,
Rachel,
why
how would okay?
the
I'm just gonna
she pretty
say
much
it. In
made Gone with
today's
the Wind.
climate,
Yes.
how are they going? What are they going to do with Gone with the Wind?
I mean,
Today's
there are some
climate and how they
things.
portray characters and stuff. Because
Yeah.
Scarlett is unlikable. I used to
I
tease
mean,
my
that's
sister
the
and like,
least of that's the
yeah, she's
least
also
of the
a
problems
horrible
with making
mother.
Gone with the Wind.
Yeah,
But
guys, she has more than one kid in like if you've ever read the book. She's a horrible mother.
oh
She's a
yeah.
horrible human being.
But I'm just saying that, like, she so clearly kind of wanted to make Gone with the Wind.
I don't
I mean,
know.
the
I
costumes
don't
are very
think Gone
inspired by
with the
Gone with the
Wind.
Wind. The poster, the lighting is very Gone with
Well,
the
the
Wind.
posters are making fun of those 80s romance covers that
Some
they
of
used
that,
to
but
have.
also there's
Yeah.
that one that's literally the exact copy of the Gone with the Wind.
You're right. I
Even
had
the font is basically the same as the
Don't
Gone with
throw
the
that
Wind.
out there, Rachel, because then I'm afraid what people are going to do and what
But
they're going to do. They're
but
like, we
even
have to
it,
fix
like
this story.
that scene in the movie where there's like the red lighting and then she's in front of it, that was right. That was right in homage to Gone with the Wind.
I wonder if she thought she was fixing Wuthering Heights as well for a modern audience, because there's a
Fixing
lot
it
of,
for Gone with making it Gone with the Wind.
I don't know. I wouldn't compare it to like Gone with the Wind. I can see the influence now that you're mentioning
Yeah,
it. Yeah. Because
yeah.
I did not have that thought at all when I watched that movie. And now I'm afraid she's going to listen to this. I'm like, I could do Gone with the Wind. Because I do
I
think that a lot of times when people are remaking things or they're adapting class, they feel the need to say, we fixed what was
because
problematic.
I
And
think
that
that
doesn't
yeah,
always
I
come
mean
across
Disney is the
well.
worst at that. But like Rhett and Scarlett, like they are both unlikable. They both do horrible things, but they in the end they kind of have their, like, I guess their moment, and then you get your great goodbye. And then I mean, if anything, Rhett is more sort of, even though he literally assaults his wife at one point, he's kind of left as the more um he's kind of the
I feel they'd
protagonist
never
in a
show
way.
that today. Yeah, I feel they'd never show that today.
Yeah, I don't know
They
how they would what they would do,
they
but
wouldn't do that because even in the most recent Poldark,
uh-huh.
there is an assault scene of that, and they make it more of a seduction. And I think it
Yeah.
probably worked better in that
Well, I
case to
mean,
do it that way.
and
But people don't want to. They want to
well, and
soften the edges that way, so you
just the
could like these characters.
the
Yeah,
depiction of slavery would be just so many landmines. It would be
but
extremely difficult.
yeah,
I think
it's
the only way that you could do Gone with the Wind now is honestly if you had a black director. I think that's the only way that someone could get away with it. And that it would be interesting to see through sort of similar to like a Hamilton where you're taking ownership of the story, and
I don't know. I think it's a
that's
hard.
it's just very
It's
difficult.
hard for anybody to do today.
I think it's
honestly
the
think,
only way though, but it did
I
seem
don't
to
know.
me that she really wanted to make Gone with the Wind.
I just think Gone with the Wind as a whole is just a hard thing for any person to take on today, because
Uh-huh.
they're like, well, we have to, this is a book written in the early 1930s, and it's a movie made in the early 1930s, and it's a great movie, but we have to have
Yeah.
warnings about everything now because people can't sit down and realize like, oh, were things different in like 1930 than they are today? Like, yes, they are different.
Yeah.
And some people need to be reminded, and some people do not watch things in the lens of like they only watch it in the modern day lens. And they can't or they won't comprehend that perhaps it was different. It meant something different or it was different back then. There's a lot of comprehension problems with certain things today. And I think Gone with the Wind is like, I almost I think it would probably be better as a miniseries. But I think it's a hard for
Maybe.
anyone to
Yeah.
take over. It would be
I'm
something
just
that I
saying,
wouldn't
it
want
seemed
to
like
do.
Emerald Fennell wanted to make Gone with the Wind, and
I
she
guess.
made her Wuthering Heights as much Gone with the Wind as she possibly could.
I don't know. That's like I did not see. I can see it now that you mention it, but at the time I did not see it. I am afraid now, Rachel, you put that out there. As long as she doesn't touch Jane Eyre, because if this movie makes money,
Oh,
she'll be like, "What other
man.
Bronte sister can I
No,
do?"
don't do
And
it.
oh God, she'd really make that one horny. I'm afraid, Rachel. I'm afraid.
Yeah,
Jacob
it's
Elordi as Mr. Rochester.
bonkers.
Um,
And
did
Natasha
you?
says she's trying to get in. I'd like to at least have her just share her
Oh yeah, I think she should
opinion.
share because somebody needs to like this movie.
Yeah.
I think I hate it more than you do. You know.
Yeah. I mean, I gave it 2.5 just because
I would give it
I
2,
guess
like 2 out of 5. Yeah,
I guess I appreciate a movie that's bad in interesting ways,
sure.
rather than just
I
like,
just left there like,
but yeah,
you
I
know.
mean,
Do you think that I generally like the cast, but do you think I thought Margaret Robbie was a smidge too old for Kathy? Or
yeah,
were
I
you
can see
fine with
that.
that?
No, I mean, I
The cast is
agree.
good. The cast is good. I just thought she's a smidge
But
too
then they
old.
tried to put her in like some of those outfits, I think were tried to make her feel younger, like
Yeah,
the
yeah, and it
Swiss
didn't.
maid kind of outfit and
Oh,
certain things like that.
those plastic ones were just ridiculous. I was like, girl,
Yeah.
I don't know who
It
could
was
have played
they
her.
left over from Barbie and Jacqueline Duran. It was like
Guarantee you. And she's like, I will
uh,
be winning that Oscar. This movie will. It will
yeah.
be the only nomination if they don't forget it because it came out so early. But it will get, But yet, poor Kiss of the Spider Woman couldn't get a costume nomination,
Yeah.
and that was the
I
only thing that movie
know.
needed to get for an Oscar. Because
I
other
was
than that, no.
I really enjoyed. I mean, I
I
enjoyed
know,
that
but it's
movie in
like
general, but
it's just
that was
yeah,
just a huge flop all around.
it's
That'll be,
totally.
which
But
was a
I
shame because
just thought the
I
costumes could have at least they got a costume guild award.
uh,
I thought I mean the
oh
costumes like the night the musical sets were really beautiful to look at in that movie, and it's a shame it didn't get that. And I feel like if people don't forget this movie, that it will get a little bit of that craft love for sure, at least for the costumes. But please
yeah.
don't put that plastic dress. Like, put your other sketches out, not the plastic one. You ain't gonna win for that one.
The costume branch can be really insular. That can be a problem. I mean, but Jacqueline
I'm
Duran
still
is
trying
totally
to
in that club.
totally.
But
It's a very small. It's one of the smaller guilds. Like
yeah,
there's 300 plus, so that's why it feels like it's the same person over and over again. But it hasn't been that way for the last couple of years. I'm still trying to process the Avatar nod this year, but
I'm so
I'll get
sorry.
over it. I'll get over it.
Did you ever see a movie called The Dressmaker?
Is that the one with Kate Winslet?
Yes.
Yes.
Some of the most amazing costumes
Amazing
I've ever
costumes.
seen. And like literally the costumes are so beautiful that they
Yeah.
had a traveling exhibit all around
It
Australia
is beautiful. Those are
just
beautiful
for the
costumes.
costumes.
Yeah,
And
it got a the Costumers Guild Award, but not
that
not
it wasn't
yeah, because it was an
nominated.
Amazon movie. Amazon got it, and they just didn't. If they would have just campaigned it for that, because those costumes, it's like that movie's gorgeous to look at.
That is one of the most
It is. I
uh
love it. I have the book too. I have to read the book. It's on my to read.
like it's a bonkers movie, and so I can
It
see why it
is. It's
wouldn't be for
bonkers.
everybody.
No, but
It's
like
very
it should have.
weird,
Yeah, the
but
costumes are
yeah, those
fantastic.
costumes, come on.
Yeah, but there's so
Absolutely
many good movies
beautiful.
that just this year alone there were like what but yeah. But this year it's
Uh,
Frankenstein who's gonna win it, no doubt. I can't
yeah.
believe Wicked didn't get a second go, but okay.
That
I
was
was
crazy. I
shooketh.
couldn't
I
believe
was like, that
it.
is the only nomination this movie's gonna get. That was going in. That's what I thought. Wicked for Good. I was like, it's gonna
Yeah,
be
I did too.
costume.
I thought for sure that it would get at
And then because he
least
won last
costumes.
year, and they were like, nope, we'll
Yeah.
just put in Avatar. And I was like, pardon? I know that
Yeah.
she really made those costumes and that they filmed it and that they've put it all together in the computer to make it animated. So I know that she really made those costumes. But those costumes are those costumes.
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
Yeah.
But a lot of first time.
Let's see here. I mean, if Avatar can get in for costumes, then I don't see why you couldn't nominate an animated film for costumes.
I think
The only time I've ever heard
right.
Yeah, that was for the Guild, which I love.
No, it got an Oscar. Didn't? No, it got it for the Guild.
Because that is stop motion, so they literally are making costumes. So that, as opposed to just drawing costumes, but I mean, Avatar, the only actual physical costumes in Avatar are like the military
that you see on screen. Yes, I mean, I know that she made and sketched up. Because they photographed her actual costumes to help animate them into CGI.
They did that all the time for animation.
They do, because in many animated movies, they do have a costume designer design the clothes, which then the animator designs, with the animation. So there really is, like, in my mind, if you think about Frozen 2, Anna and Elsa had numerous costume changes in that movie. And there was a lot of effort into those costumes as well. So I think that, maybe we should open it more up to like the animation department, because it counts. You do have people sketching that out for you. So
we'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies merch store.
Are you looking for that perfect gift for the postable, Hardy, or Hallmarky in your life?
What about getting that t-shirt or hoodie that will help you stand out at your next holiday party?
Now is the time to check out the Hallmarkies merch store.
Full of festive designs by artists like Jessica Miller, Carrie from Hallmark Comics, and more.
You can even have more than just shirts, but totes, cell phone cases, notebooks, mugs, and more.
And it isn't just Hallmark. We have designs for Anna Green Gables, Man from Snowy River, The Nanny, and more.
Every purchase at the merch store goes to help support the podcast and allows us to make the great content you know and love.
There are frequent sales, so go to tpublic.com/stores/Hallmarkies or see the link in the description.
That's tpublic.com/stores/Hallmarkies.
So we've already talked for probably 30 minutes about the new movie, as well as ranking but we want to hear your thoughts and what you felt about it. And it was interesting because when we were chatting on Twitter, it seemed like we had really sort of fundamental takeaways from the novel as well, which is interesting. So is this a novel that you grew up reading?
Yes.
Yes.
I think the first time I read Wuthering Heights, I think I couldn't I couldn't get into it. I think that I was really young, and but I was in that phase of like reading like Little Women, David Copperfield, like all the classics. So I thought I would try Wuthering Heights. So it was only like later that when I read it, and then I immediately was able to like get into it. So I think, it's always a toss between Jane Eyre or Wuthering Heights for me. Like I think I love both equally. But I did my thesis on Jane Eyre, so I'm a bit biased. I think slightly more towards Jane Eyre, but I think both books are like very special to me.
So my take on Wuthering Heights, I'm definitely Team Jane Eyre, but I read it when I was a young adult. I read it for the first time, and my take on it is that it's a story about how basically that hate is the flip side of love, and them keeping these two people apart because of all the different reasons in their society and their whatever, made them bitter and made them angry and made them like, yes, they still love each other, but that love is also expressed through rage and anger. And I think that's what makes it like compelling is that the rawness of that. And I think that's what people like. I reread it again for this movie, and I felt like how I was surprised at how little time is actually spent with Heathcliff and Catherine together in the novel. I mean, you have a lot of time with these secondary characters in this novel. And really you see their pettiness and vindictiveness coming through in the way that they treat almost every single other person in the story, and even each other. I sometimes, because they they are angry that the world has kept them like apart, and so that's how I took it. It seemed like you had a very different take on it when we were talking, and I think that allowed you to be more receptive to this movie than either me or certainly Terry was.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
No, I mean, I can understand, I think, why people won't like it. Like, I can completely understand it because I think certain things are like removed, right? Like I think the othering of Heathcliff is a huge part of the novel, right? It's one of the reasons why they can't be together, etc. But I think what I think a core reading of the novel, and I don't know, maybe you guys can chime in and see what you think about what I have to say. But I think what I like about this version is that it focused a lot on like the childhood dynamic. And I think the issue and the complication in Kathy and Heathcliff's worlds is that for both of them, especially I think for Heathcliff, there is this like reluctance to leave like that world of childhood, right? Where things were like this, right? Because they were really close as children, and then I think that the issue became that he wanted things to kind of stay that same way, right? The status quo where where they would have fun together, like they would throw their childish tantrums, they behave like brats, right? And I think him mainly, but also I think both of them, like there's this reluctance to leave that space of childhood, I think because of like all, I guess, the obstacles that await in adulthood. So I think and I think that's what I guess I liked about the film, because they focused a lot on the younger versions of them, and then kind of drew that connection across time, right? And then certain Freudian things as well, like Heathcliff's like oral fixation as well. If you go down the whole Freud path and the symbolism, then when you think about children, they have like that that phase where they're fixated on like the oral, they keep putting things in their mouth, right? So I felt like symbolically the film was like, it really hit on those elements. But I thought it was just, I think a lot of people think that the movie, I think, romanticizes the love, right? And I think maybe the marketing doesn't help, because in the trailer it says like the greatest love story, etc. But I thought that the love that was portrayed, even though there was that yearning, there was that desire, there was a lot of hate and ugliness, and there was like a brutality to it as well. I think especially in what Heathcliff did to like Isabella, and I think even like what Kathy did to Edgar as well, right? I think there's one point.
I felt like they tried to tone that all down though by making it be this like consensual relationship between Isabella and Heathcliff. I felt like that was her way of being like, he's really not that bad a guy. He got her permission.
No, I thought I think, okay, how I read that whole that whole presentation of it, right, is that he's asking someone to consent to something that they don't quite understand. Like, I think when he asks Isabella for her consent, like, I don't think she's fully understanding what she's consenting to. Like, she's a very sheltered, innocent,
I mean, I agree.
young person,
I just think that was
Yeah.
the director's attempt to try to keep Heathcliff as likable as possible. To be like, he got her permission.
I felt that she was trying to give Isabella some agency, because I think in the novel she has none, right?
But, in so
her
doing,
life is...
she's trying to keep Heathcliff more likable because he
I mean,
gave her
it's-
that
it's-
agency.
No, I don't think he did.
Like, I'm just saying that I think that the way I took it is like she wants to tag on. She doesn't want to explore like how. I thought it was like an out for Heathcliff. Like, he's really not a bad guy. He got her permission. Is how I kind
No,
of
I mean,
took it.
I don't think you could watch those sequences and think that he's a good guy. Like, I felt quite disgusted with him.
I just felt like that was sort of
what he
their
was doing.
excuse of like, she wanted to do this. And
I felt that way too.
Yeah. So that it was, they wanted to keep, in my opinion, they wanted to keep both Kathy and Heathcliff with as little blood on their hands as humanly possible, both in their behavior towards each other and also in their behavior towards everybody else. And so they almost made Nellie like more of an outright like villainous character, that's like against their love or whatever.
Yeah.
Than they did either of them.
I don't think that Nellie's position changes dramatically. I mean, I think that what it does is that it shows her being I guess a villain through her passivity. Like she doesn't like do anything. Like which is very much per case in the novel as well. Right? She's like a bystander. She's like the observer, like the witness to like this messy, destructive fallout, right?
Yeah.
And I think Nellie does the same thing here. Like she doesn't really do anything. Like she lets them they just destroy each other. Like she just doesn't say anything. You get what I mean? But I feel
also
like
felt
she's
like
not.
I felt like the movie wanted us to be like, look at their beautiful love. And when Emerald Fennell said that she wanted it to be this generation's Titanic, I believe her. I think that she thought that this was going to be like Jack and Rose. And I'm like,
Yeah. I felt like I think that Nellie, she purposely said those things so Heathcliff could hear and he could leave, and she told the truth on Kathy. Because Kathy was like, "You're fired and you're out of here." She was purposely vindictive, and I'm trying to figure out why. Was it because if it was about the status of her life, which
were they also trying to say that Nellie and Kathy are sisters?
No, she was the illegitimate daughter of a lord, and he paid for her to get that position. I felt like they didn't. If she was so upset about just the status of her life and what that entailed, they really didn't do much with that.
Because they introduced her as my ward, and usually in period pieces, anybody who's a ward is like a bastard child.
Well, not well.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not really developed. I
thought are they saying that they're half sisters? I kind of wondered about that, but yeah,
I think there was more.
I just think
there was a whole conversation about it. Sorry.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
No, she's not related to them. Okay. But she is the ward, so I'm guessing that she's an illegitimate child of a lord. That's what one of the servants says to her, but that's not her father. Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
Yeah, but
like even in the new Bridgerton, Sophie is introduced as her dad's ward.
Yeah,
this is my ward.
So it's probably one of Mr. Earnshaw's like one of his charitable acts. Mm-hmm. Again, like he has a tendency to do that. So I think, he probably took her in as a charitable act, and then, and I think it's interesting because I think it plays with all these levels of like status with regard to all these characters. Like, even amongst the servants, right? There's like a hierarchy, right? Depending, I guess, on, the position that you hold, or like how, the level, I guess, that you were born into. So I thought that, that change to her character kind of made it a bit more interesting, and involved her more in the story, because I think, in the novel, she's just there to narrate to us, and
she's just a narrator.
And it's just hilarious because it feels like she's been dying to tell someone the story of like all this, like she's got the gods. She's like, God, like, and Mr. Lockwood's just like there. She's like, dude, I need to tell you like this, like, horrific story. So it involves her more, I would say, like gives her like a key, like, like a part on the chessboard, I guess I would say. Yeah.
Well, so you said that we just did our ranking. And so I actually had this at 4 in my ranking.
Okay.
I know. See?
That's not as bad as I thought it would be.
But so I don't think there's been like, I have to say, I don't know if there's been like an amazing version of Wuthering Heights. But you should check out there. I had a number 1 was a version from 1998. That's like, it is exactly the book. It is Like I was, wow, this is this book. And
Which one is that? Which one is that?
it is a television
1998.
one, 1998, Wuthering Heights. It doesn't have anybody famous in it except for Matthew McFadden plays Harridan.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So you
Wait,
should check
I think
that
I
one.
know it.
You should check that one out.
I think I know it. If he played Harridan, I think I know. I know which one
Yeah.
you're talking about.
It's
Yeah.
it's very good. But anyway, so the two that you had mentioned, I do agree that it's actually better than the Ray Fiennes and the Andrea Arnold one. Because
Yeah.
the Andrea Arnold one, we talked about it. It's really more a prequel. It is almost the entire movie is them as kids, which is weird.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it doesn't work, and the sound design is horrible, and it's just not it's a slog. That one's rough.
Yeah.
And then Wuthering Heights from 1992 with Ray Fiennes, they want to keep these two likable to an extreme. So they are just so boring. And no chemistry at all.
It's a weird pairing. Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah.
So, but you said that you thought this was the best adaptation ever made. So
I think for Wuthering Heights. Yeah. I think can it be better? Can it will there be one that I think best? I'm hoping. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because you've never seen the Laurence Olivier one, correct?
No. Yeah.
1939. You really ought to see that one eventually. But
it's better.
Yes. Yeah, I think definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'd be curious to know what you think of it. And but I guess I'll give you one last word, sort of like, what is it that why would you say that you think it's such a great adaptation of the book? Because that's what surprised me the most, because I can understand liking it, but more as like, this was like fun fan fiction, or this was a creative take on kind of like, I like Pride and Prejudice and zombies or something like that.
Yeah.
But the fact that you said it was such a great adaptation of the book is what really surprised me. So give you the floor. I want to hear your defense.
I'm gonna get like hate. I'm gonna get like tomatoes thrown at me. Okay, so the reason why I said that is because I think when I first read Wuthering Heights, it was I think the reason why it's remained one of my favorite books is because I think the emotional journey that it takes the reader on, and I think for the first time, I think I read about characters that I loathed, right, that I completely disliked, but that felt, I think, so human and in a bizarre way, authentic, right, to what she was kind of creating. So I think why I say that I like it as an adaptation is because I feel that it's the one. I mean, if I watch the Laurence Olivier one, maybe that one will be better. I don't know. So I'll have to see that. But I think the reason why I say that is because I think it comes very close to making me feel the same things I felt when I read the book. Like the spirit and the energy and like the pathos of it, and like the abhorrence of the characters, etc. Like, I felt all those same, like the similar emotions. So I felt that it was able to like capture that spirit and that energy of the book. Yeah. So that's why I like it as an adaptation, because I think a lot of people are complaining, right? They're like, okay, if you're gonna change things, then you should slap another name on it or whatever. But I think that is the essence of an adaptation. Like, it doesn't have to be like, it is on the onus, I think, of the director and the author to like make certain changes. But I think is the essence of the book, I think, carried through. Is it reflected in the end product? Can you watch it and think, yeah, this is Wuthering Heights? So I think for me, that's why I enjoyed it as an adaptation, because I think if you put it as a different name, I don't think I would have enjoyed it as much. I don't know. Yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
I mean, if it made you feel the feels, that's all that really matters at the end of the day. So I think that's great. Terry, do you have any final thoughts?
I don't. I think
Okay.
this movie didn't work for me, But I
Yeah.
know it's going to work for a lot of people, and that's completely fine because everyone has different tastes. A movie doesn't have to be universal. But I
Yeah.
do appreciate, I guess, that it's a smidge different, you know, like in look and the feel of it. But I don't know. I just wish it had. I wish it picked a lane. Like either.
Yeah.
I just think it romanticizes too much the text, and it tries to make it this epic love story when I don't know. I do wonder how people who've never read the novel will feel about this. I think they'd probably enjoy it better having no prior connection, you know. And
Mm.
I'm a little weirded out by the young girls who laughed at, like, you know, the portrayal of Heathcliff and Isabella
Isabella?
in this
Yeah.
movie. Like,
Yeah, that was very
they did
weird.
not see it as, at least in the theater that I went, they did not see it as bad. They thought
I
it was
mean, people were saying like, "Oh,
hysterical.
she consented." I'm like, "Okay, we've taken consent too far. Like,
And
you
this
can like we've stretched it to beyond.
No, I get it.
It's
I
too
mean,
much. I love
like,
consent. Don't get me wrong.
yeah, I do think that
Yeah.
There's limits.
this movie's definitely made for the younger audience,
Yeah.
I think, who wants to, like, no, I just because of the way they romanticized everything. I do think it's made for, hey girls, you didn't read the book, love this, right? This is the version that
Yeah.
you would want to see instead of what the book gives you in a way. Um,
I
I
guess,
don't know.
yeah, I guess for me, I know I've said it a couple times, but for me, the whole thing that makes this story stand out is the bitterness that comes from being kept apart, from not being able to be together. So making it sexy time, I think it actually kind of hurt the whole sort of what makes this story unique. And the main message of like, don't keep young people apart. Let them do their thing.
Like, but I feel that I wouldn't want to be loved by Heathcliff though. This version of Heathcliff, like I find him quite abhorrent, to be honest.
See, I thought
Like,
they kept him. I
yeah,
feel like they kept him as likable as they
I do
thought
feel
so.
like
could
they.
have.
like he's hot. He's hot.
I don't know. I feel like they neutered Heathcliff in this version, and quote unquote they whitewashed
agree.
him in every possible way. Like they made him sort of more. I don't think he was as bad as he was. They kind
No,
of
I think they made him as absolute. That's why they had him make sure to give Isabella consent. They made sure that he was always kind of there to protect her and love her and have sex with her. And then for Kathy, she had almost no blood on her hands by the end of this movie. She had done almost nothing except for maybe just someone like Nellie, but she really hadn't done anything even to Heathcliff. I mean, she married Edgar, but not out of spite. She married Edgar.
Yeah, but
she married Edgar because she thought that Heathcliff was dead, and she was pretty happy for like 4 or 5 years with Edgar.
We don't really see that in this movie. Yeah.
I don't think so.
No,
I don't think
miserable.
I don't think she was
like,
miserable. I think
in this movie she was miserable. She's just going day by day.
I think she was like content. She wasn't like impassioned like she was with Heathcliff. I'll give that. No. But I don't know. I felt like they kind of kept her pretty tame. And I don't know. I just think that what the whole book is trying to say is that unrequited love, when people can't be together and they want to be together, it just becomes toxic. It's bad. Let people love.
Like, I don't know, but I felt like she was horrible though.
That's
she was horrible to Isabella and to Edgar. Like, I think there's one point where she says like really horrible things and they like make fun of her. Like there's a whole scene when, you know, she thinks that Isabella is like eavesdropping and she calls her in and she like belittles her, and you know, like it's very demeaning actually. And I think like her whole thing with Nellie, like there's a scene where she's like threatening Nellie and she looks like the devil. I thought that was like really great symbolism. And I think there's a point where she and, you know, Heathcliff are getting freaky and, you know, they're doing stuff. And then he says, like, if you wanted me to kill him, I would, right? And that's when, you know, suddenly it strikes her. You know, I think what she's doing to Edgar as well, right? Like, you know,
Yeah. And they do make the affair over a very short period of time. Because, I mean, she doesn't even know that he's there until she's pregnant, and then she dies by the end of the pregnancy. So this is a very
montage. We only have so much time.
Well,
just one last thing. That it's also quite transgressive, right? That she sleeps with him while she's pregnant with another man's child. Like it's not great.
I guess that's fair.
And she doesn't tell Heathcliff as well that she's pregnant, and then there's that whole. Yeah, I don't know. It just feels very. It's icky. Like I think that's why I feel like they're just really ugly people. Like I can't like romanticize them. Yeah, but I feel that they are good for each other. Like they are good together. You know, but they're not good for like other people and stuff. Like they're just horrible. Yeah.
But I gave it 4th place because I felt like compared to especially 5 and 6, like 5 and 6, you couldn't have this conversation like we've been having, like Terry and I had before you got on. So at least I would rather, if I was going to be forced to watch a movie, I would rather watch a movie that makes interesting choices than one that's bland. And to me, like the Ray Fiennes one, bland. I have no interest in ever watching that movie again in the history of my life. But at least if I had to watch the Emerald Fennell one, I'd be like, that was a weird mantle that's in that scene made of hands, and that was a strange dress choice, and that was I feel like I would rather watch something that she's in a plastic dress. Why is she in a plastic? Like that's interesting to me.
The flesh wall, like the wall that looks like her face or something.
Yes,
that was so weird.
That was so creepy. It's like, here's your beauty mark, and I was like, ew.
The fabric.
I'll give that movie that. There was some creepy. There was some creepy moments. So I will give you that. I do wonder. I'm very curious to see like what women our age think of it and what a younger generation think of it. Do they think that that's all like super toxic, or they're like cool? You know, I do wonder, because some of the girls in my screaming were like, I love that. And I was like, do you just love him because he's hot? Like, or do you like really see past what the movie is trying to express? I mean, that's what, when you cast too good looking of a man as Heathcliff, that could cloud anybody. People would just get lost in him. And like, he is good looking, we'll give him that.
Sure. Yeah.
So I do wonder.
He's supposed to be as well, right? I think in the book, Heathcliff is referred to as a handsome, erect figure. Like I was like, I think the one who's ugly is Rochester. I think that's the
Rochester
the guy.
is ugly. So is Jane. Both Jane and Rochester are ugly. Yet every movie they get the hottest people.
You strange, almost unearthly thing. Yes, so good.
Yeah, I think they got Michael Fassbender walking around as Rochester. Come on, like no,
that's true.
Man. You're too beautiful to be Rochester.
I do love that movie.
I do, me too.
we do have a ranking of Jane Eyre as well. That me and my friend Ginger Hans did it like during the pandemic, so it's been a while, but. We did it, and so that's fun to listen to.
I'm a maniac, Rachel. I've seen every English version, every English spoken version of Jane Eyre.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
All right, well, very good. I'm so glad we were able to make it work. Thank you.
I think I need a disclaimer and say that I like the film not because Jacob Elordi is hot. Like,
I need to say that. No, I was just wondering if some.
You can admit it, Natasha.
I didn't like
I love Tom Hiddleston. Like that's my type.
Oh my gosh, he would be perfect as a Heathcliff. I think.
Oh my God, he would be so good.
He would. Now I want to see a version with him in it. I think that's a great casting. Like he could do the intensity of that. But I saw some little girls, some like teenage girls go woo, and I just wonder like. If they fully comprehend that, or it's just they're blinded by his beauty.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's possible, definitely.
Well, very good. This has been a lot of fun. We definitely want to hear what you think, the listeners, of this new movie, how you would rank the different versions. There's also a bunch that we didn't even cover in the ranking. We could have had it be like 15 movies. It's been done a lot. So if you have a different one that you want to talk about, or if you want to talk about the book, whatever you want to talk about, we are here and we want to hear it. And thank you so much, Natasha, for making this work. I really appreciate it. And how can people follow you, read your review, all that fun stuff?
People can follow me on X, at Lit My Soul. They can read my review on thefictiondepartment.com. I review, tons of movies, TV, and even books. Yeah, so it's a good time.
Very good. And Terry, what
Yeah.
about you?
They can find me at Flurry Heaven on X, just posting nonsense and nothing meaningful, and talking about my Turkish dizzies, my novellas. So if anybody, likes them, let me know.
Terry loves Turkish dramas.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I will. I am hunting down all iterations of the Turkish versions of Wuthering Heights. There's quite a few. So I've got
I'm
to
sure
figure
there
out how
are.
to. Oh, they are crazy. I was like, oh my gosh. There's even a new one coming, but
Oh, no.
I'm on a quest. I need a break, but I'm on
Yeah.
a quest to see them
That
eventually.
is so niche, Terry. That's like so niche.
It is. It's
Like really.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know.
Well, you can find me at Rachel's Reviews, all over social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes, and on KSL Movie Show right now. And make sure you're following the podcast, Hallmarkies Pod and Hallmarkies Podcast, all over social media. And if you are listening on iTunes, please leave your ratings and reviews. We really, really appreciate that so much. And if you are listening on YouTube, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and we would appreciate that so much. We also have our Patreon group, which is the biggest way you can support everything we're doing. You get to be part of cool experiences, like we have Q&As. We have one this month with writer Nina Wyman, who's written over 20 movies. So it'll be super cool. You get a chance to talk to her. So we have cool experiences. Plus, you get to listen to all of the episodes ad-free. And so I try my best to make the Patreon very worth your investment. And then we have the merch store where we have lots of fun designs and movie inspired, theater inspired, Hallmark inspired, all that fun stuff. So check it out. And thanks so much to both of you. And we'll talk to y'all later. Bye.
Bye.